Cedric Maxwell podcast
is brought to you by PrizePicks and the Gametime app.
All right, we're back with another episode of the Cedric Maxwell podcast, wrapping up the NBA trade deadline week, which, Max, to me, probably the best one I've seen in my life. He's Cedric Maxwell. I am Josue Pavon. We're getting you ready for Super Bowl weekend. Hope everyone got some fun plans ahead. I mean, whether you watch the game or not, whether you're into football or not, it's still an event around these parts, no matter where you are around the U.S. So we'll do a little bit of a little talk at the end of this. And we also do big deal or no big deal. I can't imagine a better episode to do this, Max, after the kind of week we saw in the NBA with all these trades going around associations left and right. But first things first, let's go back to what we talked about last episode. That, of course, is still the biggest trade, if you ask me, that went down this week. It started Saturday night around midnight. That's Luka Doncic going to the Lakers. Anthony Davis going to Dallas. A bunch of other pieces in there, but those were the two that everyone's talking about. Neither one has had their debut for their respective teams, but Luka Doncic saying all the right things at the press conference, talking about learning from LeBron James. Max, what do you buy into that as he begins his Lakers tenure, which I believe will start this weekend?
Well, I think that, he's going to come out and he wants to play well. We'll see if he plays right away. But what else is he going to do? I mean, he was blindsided. He was when's the last time he had the superstar in this league, did not know anything till it was done. I mean, a real bona fide superstar in this league. All NBA, many years, several years, and was pretty much going to be the face of the NBA. And Dallas decided to pull the ripcord. That to me is absolutely amazing. And on top of it, nobody knew about it.
Yeah.
Everybody was shocked. But I think that the reality is now. I saw Anthony Davis on the bench against the Celtics, and Kyrie Irving was handling things, moving the basketball around. They got a lot of people involved. Beat the Celtics handily in Boston. It's just, and then just moving a little bit sideways. I look at the Celtics right now, the way they play. They play down to the level of the competition. If you don't have your star player there, Celtics will play down to that level. And that's something they're going to desperately have to improve upon.
I like how you bring up the fact that, Luka was blindsided, because you could feel it in that press conference, man. Like, obviously he's looking forward to the future, but he's still, like, his head's still spinning as to what happened in Dallas. And for you to mention exactly what I was thinking, in the sense of they did it so quickly, they could have easily seen what was around the league. Nico could have made his phone calls, but he wasn't trying to get this out there. I feel like he didn't want it. He didn't want that smoke, right? He didn't want that pressure of, are you really about to trade Luka Doncic?
Wait a minute.
He didn't want to hear any rumors out there, or he didn't want no reports to go out before he made that deal.
He wanted a player. He targeted that player and went to that team and got that player. He got one of the best players right now in the NBA.
But is that smart, Max? You could have called around. You could have seen. I'm sure there was a line of teams that would have said, "Hey, you want our superstar? We could work something out here." This is Luka Doncic we're talking about.
Let me see who are you thinking about right now? Who would you say would be a superstar that you make a trade for that is on his level?
If I'm Dallas, I'm thinking maybe Milwaukee. I'm not saying that they're going to do this, right? Maybe Milwaukee.
Milwaukee going to take who? Who they going to take? Giannis?
I'm thinking Giannis. Hey, let me just see what they think. I don't think they would do it, but if you're Dallas, you're going to call around a little bit. Dallas, you can't jump to assumptions.
No, just wait. It's like when you went on your date, your prom date, and you start looking at some other girl who looked fine, but thinking like, this is the girl I want. This is the girl I came with. If I start looking around, then damn, here I go again. I'm shooting myself. He saw a need for his team. He went out and addressed that need. Sean was saying the same thing. You might could have got more. What more were you gonna get? What are you trying to get? You want to get
in that part of the conversation, I'm thinking just draft picks.
Player, you got a draft pick, whatever it was.
Right.
I mean, I think it was a hell of a deal for really both teams. And I think if Nico went out there and put that bait out there, and then the word would have been out, oh my God, Luka's up for sale. Now, as you're saying, smoke time. you got a smoke show instead of just
you would have had a day, as your boy said. You would have
They come to Luka and say, "Well, Luka, what do you think about coming here, and how do you feel about coming there?" Nah, we cut to the chase. This is what we did. Boom, it's done. So I mean, the only thing I'm kind of crazy about is the fact that when they go back to Dallas and what's going to happen with that first game. I talked to a couple of Dallas people the other day. I said, if I am Anthony Davis, I'd want to play in Boston and get that shit out the way. My debut. I don't want my debut in Dallas with people booing me if I miss 4 or 5 shots.
Yeah, that's true.
There are going to be some people going to be very happy about the deal, but for the majority of part in Dallas, there are people. This is almost like losing their a family member to some of these people. That's how crazy they were going in front of the
season ticket holders got their money back. They were giving up their seats after this deal.
Oh, giving up the seats, they didn't get the money back.
Well, some people got some money back, but yeah, you didn't get the full price. But,
how you get money back? How you get money back? You can't give the seats back to the organization.
Right. No, I mean for the rest of the season. Like they sold off the rest of the. They didn't want the rest of the season.
They sold their seats to who? To somebody else who wanted to buy them.
Right.
So they're not. You know, it might in the short term. I think they're going to be people are angry, but. How far does Dallas go? What happens if Dallas goes to the finals and wins the championship? How's it viewed then?
A success for sure. It's a small window, but they definitely have the better window, if you ask me.
Well, they definitely do. They have a better window of opportunity. If you want to strike the iron, get one of the best players out there. And here's a need that Dallas had. Dallas needed a big that could score. Gafford, Lively. They get there. They can't create their own shots. Anthony Davis can create his own shot. You give him the basketball. He's a primary passer. He's a great rebounder. He's a great defender. I mean, he does so many things well that how do you even pass on that? I think I know Sean was saying, I think you could have got more. Got from what? What do you want? You want to go to, hey, how about this? You want to go to Denver? Want to go to Denver, see if you can get Jokic. How about that? Is that what you want?
But poor Danny Ainge didn't even know what he was doing, man. He was like, man, I thought we were just doing picks for a player here. What's going on?
Wait a minute now, Josue, you're trying to say Danny Ainge did not know what he was doing?
You think he knew what was going down between Davis and Luka?
Danny might be acting like he's on that thing, but no, Danny's dumb smart. He knew exactly what was going down. They had to come.
I would have asked for more. I was like, you guys can't do this without me, so I want more. I would have facilitating this.
Look, he got something for nothing. He didn't get no players, but he got something for nothing. He got a pick. It's going to be amazing when the draft comes up because who's going to be picking? Dallas. Who's going to be picking? OKC and Utah. They got the market cornered right now. So Danny's going to be able to wheel and deal at the end. Like, who wants a pick? Who wants a first round pick? Where do you want that? And what can you give me back 5 years from now where I get another first round pick from you? So I'm not going to believe that Danny did not know anything.
Well, as your boy Sharp said, man, Nico would have got a damn barbecue, man. All that smoke, it would have been pressure. And then Luke, I don't know, maybe he gets cold feet. Maybe the Lakers don't get. I don't know. They did that deal last minute. They got it done.
They did the deal and got it done. That's the deal.
In terms of getting more, though, my only thing is more draft picks. I mean, Utah. Speaking of Danny, what did he get for Rudy Gobert? He got 4 future
Rudy.
firsts.
You don't even know what those picks are going to be, Josue. They have no idea what those picks might be. Those picks could be 27, 28. They could be at the bottom. But what you got a bona fide star who is still Anthony Davis is not far from his prime right now.
No, he's been playing like that this year for sure.
So if you tell me you got Anthony Davis, a shooter, you can talk all the points Luka brings to the table. That's great. How many did he give up? Everybody
look at that finals tape.
At the end of the year, in the finals, what they say that Dallas had the best 2 players in that series. Not so much.
Nah, he was a turnstile on defense, man.
They were Brown and Tatum.
Yeah.
And Luka got exposed. Well, Luka, I love these people who say Luka can rise to the occasion. Well, you got the NBA Finals. When do you want to rise to the occasion?
Yeah.
Now talk to somebody who did rise to the occasion. I played in the finals. Rise to the occasion. That's when the big boys step up. So for me, it's like that was I just think that, especially when he's talking about on the defensive end, and he's a smart player, and the ball is not gonna necessarily stay in his hands. He runs the floor. I mean, when Luka, that's what I'm gonna love to see when Luka and LeBron get together, because LeBron, he'll bounce the air out of that basketball. He's going someplace at the end.
Right.
But
and don't sleep on Christie, man. Christie's a good piece to add.
Yeah, he's not coming off picks and all that stuff. So yeah.
This episode of the Cedric Maxwell podcast is brought to you by PrizePicks, the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks, and right now with the big game just around the corner, it's now or never. Do not miss out on this great deal that is only going to happen between now and the big game. All right, it's the best place to win cash while watching the big game. PrizePicks is also giving away a free pick for the big game where Patrick Mahomes will need just to throw 1 yard to win. That's it. One. Easy, right? If you're correct on at least one more stat projection, you win real cash. Check out the promo tab to tail any of our super sweet Millie winners big game lineups. If you tail a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you can win a split of $1 million in promo funds. Download the app today. Use the code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's CLNS is the promo code. Download the app and you get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. Yeah. Plus PJ Washington. I mean, he was going off. He's gone off against the Thunder. He's gone off against bigger teams. So I can't wait to see what that team looks like, especially in the postseason. And people talking about Luka rising to the occasion. What about Anthony Davis? Like, man, you guys were so quick to give me up. He's gonna have a chip on his shoulder for sure, and I can't wait to see what that looks like when he puts that uniform on. But I'm with you, Max.
Those two
not having your debut in Boston, that makes sense. But sorry, go ahead.
No, I would have. I'm him. Please get me on that floor. Let me play 10 minutes. Let me get it over with. You know, I'm only gonna play 10 minutes just so I can get a couple of reps up and down. Play the first half. Let me just get used to the uniform. But he didn't do that, and now you're going to go back into a cauldron, and it's gonna be you one of your boys. It's gonna be hot in here.
Yeah, that's not my boy, especially after what we talked about last episode. Nelly is not my boy.
You a big wait a minute. You back in the day, you was a big Snoop fan, man.
Oh yeah, Snoop is a different story, man. Snoop disappointed me.
You still
but
on
Nelly,
Snoop, yeah?
I'm good.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not gonna play his records anytime soon, but yeah, I guess Snoop is he's still up there. One of my favorite old school rappers. But you know what? Speaking of Celtics and Dallas Mavericks, that leads right into a big deal or no big deal. I feel like we should get some like game show music going on right here. But with that being said, big deal or no big deal? Boston Celtics lost to the Dallas Mavericks 127-120. Like you said, Max, no AD, of course, no Luka Doncic, but plenty of great vibes coming from Klay Thompson as they say, turned back the clock against the Celtics, especially in that first half, got them out to a great start, and they stayed in front mostly throughout that second half. Celtics made a great push. The Celtics bench, I should say, made a hell of a push in that second half. Peyton Pritchard going off. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough, man. But hey, as you would say, Max, once the head coach pulls their starters, regardless of what that scoreboard looks like, I wanted to see that second unit get it done. It didn't happen, but I love the fight. I think that's great for guys, in the long run, especially, players who don't play a whole lot. But big deal, no big deal. Boston Celtics losing to the Dallas Mavericks at TD Garden without Anthony Davis.
I don't think it was. Well, it was and it wasn't a big deal. And I don't like to get in the middle, but it was a big deal for me in the fact that the Celtics have not protected home. They have not been the dominant road home team. And it seems like every time another team is missing key players, more than one, the Celtics fall into that same bugaboo of just not being able to complete the deal. Turning the ball over must have been the first half. They must have turned the ball over at least 12 times in the first half. So they just really played into the hands of what you were able to get from Dallas.
Yeah, for sure, Max. And I feel like that third quarter, man, you're waiting for that, that fight, that pushback after the halftime. And man, the Dallas Mavericks executed in a big way, especially with the rebounding the glass. I just felt like from an executional standpoint, Celtics just couldn't find that offensive rhythm and did what he had to do in that fourth quarter, man. Pull the starters out of there. And I just, like you said, Max, I don't know what's going on with the whole situation at home, but hopefully they can fix that, because they're certainly going to have that on their side when it comes to the postseason and home court advantage, man. We saw what that looked like throughout last year's playoff run. 3 losses only, and it was rarely at TD Garden, of course. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Sort of a big deal in that regard, but not a big deal in the sense of looking at the Mavericks as a potential finals rematch this upcoming postseason. But it could happen. We'll see. We'll see for sure. All right, big deal, no big deal. The Cleveland Cavaliers, leading the Eastern Conference, made a deal in trading Karis LeVert, Georges Niang, and 3 second-round picks for DeAndre Hunter, who's a 17, 18-point scorer, can get it done on both ends of the floor. Had a heck of a season with the Atlanta Hawks, but now he joins the Cavs. Big deal or no big deal? This one got some Celtics fans worried.
Bigger deal than I think, because Hunter, he can go either way. He's long enough that he can get up and guard Tatum and Browns, but he's crafty enough offensively they can score buckets and make it tough on the opposition. So he can be a nice little player when it comes to that. So I'm going to go with big deal the way it was.
I agree, Max. I think it's a big deal because exactly what you said, in the sense of what he's going to do defensively, especially in the fourth quarter. If one of those guys are going, if you're at Cleveland, you want to have that guy you can say, hey, slow down Tatum, or hey, stay in front of Brown. I think he's that guy, but I just always point at the Celtics' depth, especially with Kristaps. I just feel like he just creates a lot of problems for the Cavaliers, or someone like Derek White, like he did the other night, goes off in the fourth. They just don't have a solution for that. I'm not quite sure DeAndre Hunter solves that. But it does, like you said, give them that perimeter defender that could really help these guys. And of course, confidence at a sky high, rate right now for the Cavaliers, regardless of what happened in the last matchup. I just can't wait for that best of 7 series, man. I think it happens at some point in the postseason, and it's going to be one hell of a series between the Celtics and Cavs, man. So stay tuned for that for sure.
Yeah, yes, indeed. I want to see them two teams play together, but in the 7-game series, I still think the Celtics have the advantage.
I don't think it puts them over the top. I'm with you. Yeah.
If you have a healthy Porzingis, I go with the Celtics.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you for sure. All right. Big deal, no big deal. The Charlotte Hornets, last episode, I should say, I was talking about who's going to be playing center for this damn Lakers team after you done traded your big and Anthony Davis. And they went out and got Mark Williams from the Charlotte Hornets in exchange for Dalton Connect, the rookie that was making some waves this season for sure, Cam Reddish, and a future first-round pick. Big deal, no big deal that the Lakers now have a center in the middle in Mark Williams.
They needed one. I think it's a big deal. They needed a big body. They need some rim protection. He can be consistent in the paint. If he can score maybe 10 points and get about 5 or 6 rebounds a game, something like that, I think it really helps them out in what they're able to do.
I think so too, Max, man. I'm going to say a big deal in that sense, but I don't think it's a big deal in that, look out for the Lakers going to the finals. I don't know. I mean, it helps them. It solves an issue. Like I said, from the trade, from the jump, I was like, okay, Anthony Davis, great piece. Luka Doncic is a great piece, but who's playing center? Who's your starting guy? Jackson Hayes is a good piece off the bench, but I'm not quite sure he's your starting center, for a team that has championship or potential championship aspirations. But I think this helps them. Of course, staying healthy has always been an issue with Mark Williams, but he solves that void at the center position for sure. And you had that athleticism, which Luka loves. Obviously, we saw with Gafford, very similar in that sense. Get you buckets around the rim, just a constant threat. So it's a big deal in that sense for sure, man, for the Lakers.
Yeah. All
right, big deal or no big deal. Jimmy Butler got his wish, Max. got out of Miami, got a bag of dough, 2-year deal worth $111 million. Man, guess it pays off to just quit on your team.
And we all said he was stupid. We all on the same page. He ain't getting no more money. He ain't this. He ain't that. Jimmy Butler, smart like a fox. You know, he had already had $50 million this year and had another $50 million on his contract for the coming year. Well, he went up to 60 and 61 million for the next 2 years.
Crazy.
So he's good to go right now.
Crazy. Teams up with, of course, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, the rest of the Warriors. They're going to try to squeeze out a potential championship or finals appearance within the next year or two. But is that what happens when you add someone like Jimmy Butler? Big deal, no big deal. Jimmy Butler heading to the Warriors.
I think the Warriors have a lot of problems, a lot of space and things that they have to do with their team. Guys they lost. Yeah, I don't think you fill the void with them. I think they can still be a dangerous team. But if you have Boston and them in the finals, you'd be like, okay, bring it on. Bring it on.
Right.
This episode of the Cedric Maxwell podcast is brought to you by Gametime. It's the NFL playoff season, and you don't want to miss out on some classic historic moments with Gametime, okay? Because Gametime will make sure that you not only get great tickets, but also make sure you get exactly what you're looking for, all right? Gametime has a new feature called Gametime Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier, all right? We're talking about filtering out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste your time searching through thousands of tickets. Best value, all right? And right now, for the NFL football playoffs, I mean, we're talking about some of the memories that you'll never forget, all right? I'll never forget, man, it was freezing cold, all right? Watching these Patriots, the good old days, and my beer turned into slush, but guess what? I was still having the time of my life, and I'll always tell that story because it was an historic night, and you can make countless memories with Gametime, all right, with some of the best deals around. Gametime also has Gametime Picks, all right? Curation makes it easier to find better value for tickets to sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. All right, you got the all-in pricing, all right? This feature shows the total upfront. You got none of those surprise costs at checkout that make you think, man, why did this price just double? No, Gametime keeps it 100 with you. It tells you exactly what you're paying for, and you get that panoramic view from your seat in the app before you actually buy. Not to mention the fact that Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference if it's not the lowest price guaranteed. All right, that's how confident these guys are. So
download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Gametime today. What time is it? Gametime.
Yeah. I'll go big deal. I think it's a big deal just because I just want to see how it all plays out. You know, I don't think this year is that year, but I mean, do they make it to the Western Conference Finals? Maybe. I mean, if he can be the guy that we saw throughout all those Eastern Conference Finals when he was wearing that Miami Heat jersey, being that fourth quarter killer, that postseason guy, then yeah, for sure. Like Steph Curry needs someone like that. He doesn't have someone that he can deflect to.
How you gonna get the ball?
Yeah, that's true. They got to figure that out. That's the thing.
And let's call a spade here. Is there gonna be a Draymond factor? I mean, Durant said, oh, no, I'm not coming back there. That Kevin Garnett.
That's true. That's a good point.
It was motion for Kevin Garnett to come back and like, nah, I'm not doing that. Now, why wouldn't he do that? Yeah. Is it one guy? Obviously, it's not the organization. So
he's a big part of it, I think. Yeah, if you ask me, if I had to guess. And the narrative, I don't know, going back to the Warriors, even if they win it all, it's like, oh, you had to run back to the Golden State to get your ring again. Like, I think he's put that in the past. He's like, look, that's a chapter I'm beyond at this point, regardless of how this thing with Phoenix, goes down this season or next. Yeah, I'm with you, man. That's a big part of this for sure. And that was a report that happened a day before the deadline, pretty much. Yeah, he said no, and the whole thing collapsed. So yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. But man, to see him in a Golden State Warriors jersey is gonna be interesting, man. I can't wait. It's just entertaining, man. I love all of this. It's the NBA, man. No other league does it like this.
The
plot thickens. The plot thickens.
NBA stole the headlines from the Super Bowl. and that's hard to do.
Yeah, they really did. Yeah, you're right. Yep. Greatest trade deadline in history. Calling it for sure.
Yeah.
All right. No big deal, no big deal. Boston Celtics didn't make the big splash that some were anticipating in the sense of adding a piece to come off your bench or whatever, but they got someone, Torrey Craig, who's always sort of had that good reputation of just doing whatever he's told and you know, not complaining about it and just being that guy off the bench. But big deal, no big deal that Celtics signed him.
Yeah, I think he can be a spark plug. I would wonder why they didn't bring back Brissett, because I think that he knew the system already. You just won the championship with him, but man, his dice rolling. I don't know if I want to be where he's at. He's rolling the dice for $2 million going. You see one snake eye, and then it's about to pop over to another one. You go, oh my God. And if you're talking about the $2.5 million that he gave back to the team and has not gotten it in return, that's sad.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's no big deal, but I just thought they would address the center position. You know, I don't know. We talked about it a little bit before. I mean, like just having someone to sort of help those guys, and Al Horford and Luke Cornett. You know, Kata got some playing time in that fourth quarter, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, look, the going small is always an option. I mean, you feel like the double big is depending on who they're playing against. You sometimes see it, but it's not as frequent. So maybe Craig, you know, he comes in there and helps that out. So maybe that's the direction that they prefer to go in for sure. Yeah,
you'll find out how it's going to bang along, especially early on. The game tomorrow against the Knicks is going to be a huge game for the Boston Celtics. You're talking about a Knicks team that I think is one down in the standing. So they definitely want this team. They want the Celtics. So what happens if you're the Celtics and you go and beat the Knicks? And then you can say, be careful what you ask for, big guy. Be careful what you ask.
Right. That's true. Man, one thing that surprised me, you know, covering the Oklahoma City Thunder is they traded for Daniel Theis, right?
Yeah.
And less than 24 hours later, they waived him. Man, my Twitter was going off with Celtics fans being like, bring him back. Oh my God, Daniel Theis. It's so magic because this would be it would have been a third return to Boston. And I don't know. I feel like he would kind of help those guys out. That's sort of that third center you could throw in there. But
yeah, you throw him in. We'll see. He can rebound the basketball. Tillman,
the lobs.
Tillman Senior hasn't played as well, so you're missing something there. And Daniel Theis he has a legitimate area that he can knock down a three. So for him to come back would have been a nice little pickup for the Celtics.
Right. Instead, the Thunder went and they gave second round AJ Mitchell, who I really like. They gave him a full guaranteed contract. So good for him, man. They used that last spot on him and kind of changed their mind. I mean, with Chet Holmgren back Friday night, you know, after playing only 10 games this season, they were like, you know what, maybe we don't need Theis as much. So they changed their mind there, I guess. But we'll see what happens with Theis between now and the rest of the season. Potential buyout candidates out there as well. We'll see what happens with all that and how if any of them latch onto a team like the Warriors or Lakers, I'd be interested, of course, if they're trying to put together their team with their new pieces, new shiny pieces coming from the trade deadline, man. But okay, last one here, Max. Big deal or no big deal? If Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs go out there and make it a three-peat, beating the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl on Sunday.
Bigger deal because if that happens, Pat Riley might get, I think they say might get about 23 million out of this thing. Because he
sold the three-peat thing, right?
He coined and copyrighted three-peat. And so when he did that, anytime somebody uses it, you got to pay. Now, not on us.
That's smart.
Watch this. Three-peat. I bet damn if I'm getting the 1 penny. Not me. Here you go, Pat. I got this for you.
CLNS gonna like it, man. No chances here.
Sam. I got a nice George Washington for you right here. Yeah. You're talking about your three-peat. But I think that Philly, to me, if they run the ball effectively, you take Patrick Mahomes out of the game. The one place he can't hurt you from the bench.
That's true. Yeah, good point, man. Especially
So
run that score up.
I love that's
Yeah,
why
run the score up.
Saquon Barkley is going to be pivotal in what they end up doing, what Philadelphia Eagles do.
Does he enter the conversation, the Tom Brady conversation? That's what Patriots fans are really worried about, man. They're like, nah, man, can't have this guy winning all these chips this early.
He wins all these chips this early. Yeah, you're talking about.
Damn it, Max, don't say it. Not yet. Brady got 7, man. Come on, you still got a little ways to go.
Yeah, you got a ways to go, but boy, he is definitely defining a legacy right now. And if he comes in and is able to get a three-peat, ooh, boy. So
yeah, he's entered the conversation. That's true. You know how as the kids say, he's entered the chat. You know, if he pulls it off for sure. With that, if you haven't already, hit the PrizePicks, download the app, use the code CLNS because Patrick Mahomes just needs to throw for pretty much 1 yard for you to get a free a square for that. You match another stat projection.
I want a Slurpee.
You could be a big winner for sure. Yeah, I mean that's what's on the line right now. Special deal right now. Download the PrizePicks app. Use the code CLNS and thank us later. For the big game if you come up big for sure, man. Because that'll be that's an easy one. You just got to get the other part of it. Another stat projection. Get that right, and you're in good shape. All right. PrizePicks. Download the app. Use the code CLNS. And have fun this weekend, guys. Everyone out there, of course, be safe. Don't do anything crazy out there. Super Bowl parties, whatever it is you're into, man. Have a good one. And we'll check back in with you guys after the Super Bowl.
All right, brother. We'll holler at you.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys next episode. He's Cedric Maxwell. I am Josue Pavon. This has been an episode of the Cedric Maxwell Podcast.
Josue Pavon here, CLNS Media, and if you made it this far, that means you really like this video. So hit subscribe, make sure you keep our notifications on, damn it, and we got plenty of great content coming your way.